Greetings to everyone from the Asian Productivity Organization APO Secretariat in Tokyo. On behalf of the APO, welcome to our October session of Productivity Trends or P Trends, covering signals and development from July to September of this year. P Trends is a concise quarterly briefing session that's designed to turn early signals into practical foresight for action. We scan continuously and curate what matters now so policymakers and practitioners can respond before disruptions become headlines. In our first session, if you may recall, we spotlight the early signals, food from air and electricity, agriculture, and emerging energy technologies. And we also showed how such sparks evolve into trends that move the productivity needle. This quarter, July to September 2025, several signals sharpened into near-term opportunities and guardrails for Asia's productivity agenda, from AI-optimized grids to heat work protocol, from compressed workweek pilots to innovation financing and traceable public cash flow. So we unpack what this means for competitiveness, resilience to climate and demographic pressure, and the widening role of trust and governance as productivity enablers. P-Trends itself isn't about forecasting per se, but it's also about what is emerging now. These signals steer the APO program, member companies, member economy strategies, and productivity policy with foresight and agility. So we are delighted to welcome back Dr. Tuomo Kuosa, Director of Future Research at Future Platform based in Finland. Dr. Kuosa has worked closely with APO to embed the signal-based scanning approach, transforming scatter observation into actionable insights for productivity. His international foresight expertise continues to help our member economies anticipate disruption and seize new opportunity. Dr. Kuosa, welcome back to this session.
Thank you very much.
He will present 8 trends identified for July to September 2025, drawn from the social, technological, environmental, economic, political, and values, or STEEP V domains. So Dr. Kuosa, now the floor is yours.
Thank you. So to brief first the methodology which we have used during the process, the same what I presented last time. So our trend selection and scanning methodology bases on signal-based horizon scanning, where we detect signals of change across productivity landscape, and we are utilizing Futures Platform's database. So we have a selection of some 600 reliable sources, which are prioritized or actually used on the horizon scanning. So we get the signals from these sources for the search functionality, and we use the keywords STEEP V keywords to identify any emerging changes within the environment. That's the basic principle. So we focus on emerging productivity signals, not long-term megatrends. So these are insights into new discoveries, tools, or practices with strong potential to transform productivity in Asia. So Asia focus is very strong here, and also the time range from the end of June until this time to September. Trend prioritizing criteria. We have 5 basic criteria principles. The timeline, as mentioned, this is one. Some of these trends may expand. They are of course signals or tails in some cases which go beyond this time range, but this is focused on the key changes during this timeline. Relevance to productivity, this is very much on focus. Regional applicability, so expected impact or resonance within Asia Pacific member economies. Foresight intelligence, as mentioned, so identified via future platform real-time signal tracking from the thousands of trusted sources, basically, or 600 trusted sources, and then thousands of potential new species. Expert interpretation, this is done by me from this database and in collaboration with APO experts. So let's go to the productivity trends, the latest 8 trends. Social is the first steep V category to look at. From this sector, we were able to identify public sector compressed work week pilots. This is especially piloted in Dubai. Dubai government entitles piloted 4-day work week during summer 2025 to test productivity and service outcomes alongside well-being. There have been a little bit similar tests around the world. This might be the most extensive one, and it's very recent one. So this might mark a potential change within the labor market, and of course strong social effects. Why it matters: motivation and energy levels can rise during more focused hours. Reduced hours plus meeting light deep work days can cut coordination waste, speed case throughput, and improve service level agreements, adherence in citizen services. Opportunities cover, for example, redesign workflows where the asynchronous case handling, queue smoothing, digital front doors can be mentioned to raise per hour output. That kind of things are monitored, tested, whether this pilot actually carries out increased productivity. So it might be early to say how it actually what will be the final outcomes. But if we look at the previous smaller trials, usually the motivation and energy levels have increased. The productivity is more complicated issue because they are work tasks where the working hours actually count very much. There are also work tasks where the high motivation and energy level is much more important than the hours that are used. So this is not a black and white issue how it affects on productivity. Another productivity trend: AI optimized power grids for the data center surge. We see the huge data center surge throughout the world, but the same applies to APO member countries. For example, Malaysia and ASEAN stakeholders, they have highlighted AI-driven grid and storage investments during June-August 2025 to meet data center AI loads. Policy and capital expenditure are aligned to accelerate deployment. The data centers, as said, are surging as there is so high demand for various types of data collection and data analysis, and now the AI usage is putting a lot of pressure to data centers. So there is surge of data centers, and these data centers are consuming a lot of energy, and this is of course well, it could be said it is a concerning issue, but AI optimization can help in this. So AI optimization of the power grids and how the data centers are actually operated it can be optimized, and there is a side of cheaper, cleaner, and more reliable electricity, and which leads to lower compute unit costs, higher public sector digital productivity, grid intelligence that reduces outages or curtailment that can stall e-government platforms. From opportunity side, we can see or assume to have a fast-track AI and 5G ready utility, or we could mention the 6G as well. Upgrades on that, tie data center licensing to grid flexibility services. Challenges cover, for example, regulatory lag on dynamic tariffs and storage monetization skills gaps in utilities. On policy angle, we have green light tariff sandboxes and adapt performance-based regulations rewarding loss reduction and uptime. If we are able to maintain the data center, if we are able to actually have the number of data centers that are needed to actually meet the requirements of the AI era transformation, then this is actually providing the productivity boost for the whole economy if there is no interruptions within the AI development in APO member countries. So this is significant boost, not one of the biggest, but still this is allowing the AI revolution to take place. Third trend, AI-driven productivity for aging societies, AI-driven spatial productivity and urban effects in aging societies. A new empirical and theoretical framework from July 2025, using Tokyo as a case study, shows that when AI is adopted aggressively, it can offset about 60 to 80% of aging-related productivity decline, and model-based scenarios are mentioned in the paper. So this is, and you can see the sources on the bottom box of each slide, and there is also this scan icon which you can use to search the source. AI-driven productivity for aging societies. This is very big potential increase in productivity. Actually, this is fighting. This brings the ability to fight the aging society decline, aging society related decline in productivity. So AI can actually mitigate that from happening, and it might even turn the development the other way around. So aging societies, Japan, especially Republic of Korea, parts of China face shrinking labor supply. Targeted AI adaptation can maintain or increase output per worker. From opportunity side, we can see opportunity use policy to accelerate AI readiness in aging cities, attract or develop firms with high AI readiness, align urban spatial planning to concentrate productivity gains. On the challenge side, we have risk of regional inequality, institutional capacity to manage AI and skills upgrading, potential displacement risks, and that sort of things. Policy angle side, incentivize AI adaptation in industry and services. That's naturally needed in aging societies, and at the same time, of course, we can say that not all APO countries are that much aging. So there are, as mentioned, some areas which are aging very, very rapidly. So this is very much focused on these areas. So there, the industry and services sector adaptation is very important. Invest in digital infrastructure, support retraining, manage spatial planning, so agglomeration gains to gains do not overload transport, housing, or the environment. Then we'll go to environmental productivity trend. The productivity trend number 4. Here we have heat-related work protocols as productivity strategy. Cities and ministries are formalizing heat stress operating window, shift rules, and rest cooling standards to avoid output losses from extreme heat. From June to September 2025, we saw new and expanded heat-related work directives in Asia and West Asia, especially each midday work bans, sector advisory. Governments are regulating work hours to protect output. How to fight the heat-related losses on work productivity? Most of these tools are quite old-fashioned, so deploying heat risk dashboards and rooster optimization, earlier starts, shared micro breaks, but also from the New York technology side, we have, for example, opportunity to consider IoT wearables for hydration, heat rate in high-risk roles. So micro breaks, earlier starts, and that sort of things, making sure the working environment is safe and workers are able to be productive. On challenge side, we have enforcement across small and medium-sized enterprises and gig work, balancing deadlines with safe window. And on policy angle, we have to adapt or strengthen national heat codes with WBGT triggers, integrate with public procurement safety, key performance indicators and performance targets for contractors. And if we look from the why it matters side, we have also, or we should also mention or emphasize that heat actually it is eroding millions of work days, so it's a real productivity loss, and protocols stabilize labor productivity in construction, logistics, and municipal services while reducing accidents and stoppages. Another thing is clear operating windows and monitoring to help agencies and firms plan shifts, keep projects on schedule, and maintain service levels. There are directives, protocols, or test trials on various Asian countries, as mentioned on the box. What is it in Bangladesh, India, Singapore, UAE countries, to give as just a few examples. Then the fifth trend from the economic side, ultra long bonds for equipment renewal productivity push. China's 2025 program channels ultra long special treasury bonds into large scale equipment upgrades, automation, logistics, environmental infrastructure, aimed at multi-year total factor productivity gains. So China especially has taken an initiative to boost the economy and the productivity with the ultra long bonds, started recently in last August. National Development and Reform Commission of China completed the issuance of ultra-long special treasury bonds of 188 billion yuan to support large-scale equipment upgrades. It is expected that these funds will support some 8,400 projects across energy, logistics, environmental infrastructure, education, and health, leveraging even 1 trillion yuan in total investment. So this is very big boost that it is looked after. Earlier guidance, Beijing said it would increase ultra-long bonds issuance in 2025 for equipment renewal and trade-ins. Follow-on briefings in late June, early January, detailed policy support. White matters, capital expenditure into modern plants, digital controls, and cleaner tech can increase output per worker and reduce maintenance downtime with spillovers to suppliers and regions. Secondly, multi-year upgrades, automation, logistics, environmental infrastructure, target total factor productivity gains, gains on these, and not just short-term demand. On opportunity side, we have public-private co-financing. As mentioned, there is the 188 billion third bond supply, which is estimated to actually carry out 1 trillion yuan, as mentioned, as an outcome of the public-private co-financing. Localized supplier development, performance-tied procurement. On challenge side, we have selection risk, white elephants, execution bottlenecks, and capacity in local governments. Policy angle, we have here tie funding to verified overall equipment effectiveness and throughput gains, and public post-audit productivity metrics, phase disbursement on milestones. So very big boost for economy, for infrastructure. Equipment renewal is sought after in China, and spillovers of this could be estimated to be very large in whole of APO countries. Emerging productivity trend number 6, innovation ecosystems for climate tech and deep tech scaling. Deep tech seeks, so what deep tech is, it seeks radical innovations, often at atomic or systems level to tackle grand challenges. So here we are talking about very new, very transformative technologies, and there is not very much long tail within these. So this is quite emerging sector in productivity. Of course, this is in relatively early stage, as said. So it may not seem to be that grandiose yet, but the effects of the deep tech scaling will quite certainly be enormously big as time goes on. Governments and the private sector are aligning on funding, regulations, and infrastructure to support deep tech, climate tech research, development, and scaling. And if we look at why it matters side, transition from commodity low value added activities towards higher value innovation-led industries, leading to stronger productivity. Then climate tech delivers benefits, energy efficiency, resource savings, resilience, and lower long-term costs, and supporting economy-wide productivity over time. And also deep tech, including the materials, AI, biotech, advanced manufacturing, all of these are producing spillovers to other sectors via new platforms, processes that are boosting overall productivity. So this is, if we consider the change in productivity, the change in economic, technological and economic ecosystems, the AI is naturally the biggest basis of the forthcoming era, as we are now in transformation phase, as we can see from almost everything around us. But what is cooking under? We are going to see the AI platform, which is providing the new ecosystem for economies, and the deep tech is quite certainly very very important part of the forthcoming economic ecosystem. Opportunity side, it supports startups and scale-ups that expand green finance and implement cluster building, complete globally on time to scale. On challenge side, we have high upfront costs and risks, regulatory infrastructure bottlenecks, skills gaps for lab to market scale up. Skills gaps can be mentioned again, as that's naturally a very big bottleneck. So this is very early stage set of technologies focusing on solving global grand challenges, and the university education system research, it is providing experts to these fields, but it is very narrow at the moment in comparison to other forms of education. So this is still at very early stage, and the skills gap is, I would say, it's probably a very big bottleneck on coming years. Then policy angle, use grants, tax incentives, and public procurement to crowd in private capital, create incubators, innovation labs, and test beds, then streamline regulation for pilot deployments, ensure capital availability for later stage scale-ups. We will go to political productivity trends. Trend number 7, real-time anti-corruption traceability in public cash flows. Central banks and treasuries tightening cash controls and mandating traceability to cut leakages in public projects, speeding clean disbursements. Here we have especially mentioned Philippines Central Bank, which has tightened enhanced due diligence rules on large cash withdrawals, and it has encouraged traceable channels for payouts and amid broader investigations into public work spending. And this is very recent from this month, actually just a couple of days ago happened thing. BSP, Banco Central Filipinas rules plus public pressure over alleged infrastructure graft are dividing policy tightening. Why this matters? Faster detection of suspicious flows, fewer stalled projects, cleaner procurement, raises value for money, and contractor performance through auditable payment trails. On opportunity side, we can especially mention link banking data to e-procurement and project monitoring dashboards, automate expectation alerts. On challenge side, we have cash-dependent regions, privacy and due process safeguards. And in policy side, phase in thresholds and digital payment mandates for public contractors, and publish monthly red flag statistics and post-audit findings. So there are ways to fight the corruption and money laundering, that sort of things. Finally, we have values side, the eighth productivity trend, the last one we are covering today. And here we have light touch National AI Act with productivity guard. Well, as we can see, this is very much related to AI, but this is and this is related also to politics. But we have selected it to the value side as this is a value issue. It is political, but it is also very much value issue. So if we compare the Japan's AI law and how EU's AI Act are pushing the AI development in these different regions, we can say that in Japan, the AI law that was enacted in 2025, which is about the AI promotion, it is the AI Promotion Act. It signals a pro-innovation regulatory model intended to enable AI rollout rather than stall it. Implementation details are being developed by government bodies. The act is framed as a milestone in Japan's AI strategy and is often contrasted with the EU AI acts, as mentioned, more prescriptive, risk-tired regime and phased application timeline. So EU's AI Act is much tighter, and the regulating AI production, AI usage is very much at the core there, and that's a thing that has been discussed in recent year in EU area. Especially France has been very tight or demanded very tight AI regulations, and as an outcome, that's probably reducing the productivity in EU area. On contrary, Japan's approach with the AI law, AI Promotion Act, this is allowing the productivity to flourish, but naturally we don't know the exact outcomes of the AI development. We might also face, and we quite certainly will face, many dangers from the fast AI development. So this is again not a black and white thing, but from the productivity point of view, the lower regulations probably promote innovations much better. So the Japan's act aims to promote innovation while mitigating risk in alignment with global norms. In parallel, Korea's Framework Act on AI was promulgated in January 2025 and will take effect on next January, showing region-wide regulatory readiness for similar approach. Why it matters? Clear, predictable rules can lower compliance friction for ministries and vendors, letting agencies automate back office tasks. On opportunity side, we have procurement templates for risk-tired AI, rapid pilots in admin services, shared model evaluation hubs. Challenge side, we have avoiding soft law gaps, aligning sectoral rules with the act. And policy angle, we could say publish government AI productivity baselines, cycle time, backlog, clearance, that sort of things could be involved, and require post-deployment audits. So here we had the 8 recent productivity trends for APO member countries from the past couple of months, and a brief summary of these. So what these trends mean for APO member countries: boosting competitiveness in digital first Asia. Here we have emerging AI, data governance, and citizen-centric platforms can help APO economies leapfrog legacy systems, cut waste, and deliver faster, higher quality services. Then the second thing, building resilience in the face of demographic and climate pressures. New productivity signals such as AI to offset aging workforce and heat-related work protocols, often tools to sustain growth amid demographic shifts and climate risks. Thirdly, we have shaping inclusive and trusted growth pathways, meaning stronger transparency expectations and AI legal frameworks that highlight how social trust and legitimacy are now core productivity enablers. And key productivity opportunities for 4 different domains are mentioned on the box. So first, green productivity, then tools and techniques, public sector, and finally policy advisory. For green productivity, the emerging opportunities deploy pilots in climate tech systems and raise efficiency while reducing environmental costs, track energy intensity and lost time incidents. For tools and techniques, adapt AI-enabled analytics, grid management and backlog clearance, pilot to accelerate measurable gains, track cycle time, throughput and service level agreement compliance. For public sector, the emerging opportunities redesign workflow via digital platform, 4-day work week and citizen governance pilots, track service windows, case completion rates and net promoter scores. And public advisory help members scale only proven pilots, align regulations with innovation and enabled objectives. That's a summary of the eight key productivity trends from the last couple of months for APO member countries.
So thank you so much, Dr. Kuosa, for your stimulating and insightful presentation. There are new things there appearing in your presentation, which is going to be the subject of our discussion, the following discussion, to help the audience digest the implication of those further. Perhaps the first question that I would like to pose to you is that, so looking across those 8 trends, which single trend do you think that has the broadest near-term, let's say 3 to 4 years, productivity upside for Asia, meaning any trend, single trend that can sort of have elevated productivity gain or productivity improvement in Asia? Dr. Kuosa.
It might be a little bit difficult to choose which is really the most important or most effective. Most certain one is the AI-driven productivity for aging societies. So that's maybe we could choose that one is the most probable one, which is providing the productivity boost. But naturally, we have also the ultra long bonds from China. This might have big productivity boost spillovers to APO countries on short term. Yet I would assume it is still smaller than the tackling the aging society issues. The deep tech might be on very long term. It might be as big influencer of productivity as the tackling of the AI, tackling of the aging society, lowering productivity with AI.
Okay, so the next question is about how to make this sort of having permanent impact. How can the productivity policymakers or productivity policy managers can ensure that these trends that they are not only reacting to these trends, but are also preparing for the impact of those trends proactively? How can we do that? And then maybe the next question is also about what kind of institutional arrangement, meaning that who can convince whom with what mandate to make this trend actually having positive, sustainable impact to, let's say, our APO member countries. Dr. Kuosa.
So being prepared regulatorily and legally to these changes. So any legal regulatory changes that are required should be assessed much prior these issues actually become something we need to react. So being proactive on legal side, and that leads to the financial side where financing, allowing finances for these new innovations should be given proactively, but of course very clear procurement standards within that. Thirdly, education. Education is, well, with education it's very long process, but as we would need, for example, the deep tech issues, in order to have the capabilities, the know-how. If we start now building or increasing the focused education, it will take some 7 years or so before we actually see the effects in the market. So early stage changes in education are needed as well.
All right, thank you for that, Dr. Kuosa. So my next question is referring to the Dubai's 4-day work week. It was still a pilot, I believe, but it was really a striking social experiment, I would say. So do you see that this model can be realistically spread out across Asia? And what would it mean for productivity measure? Because now it may be difficult to, my imagination is that it may be difficult now to measure by using the simple ratio between output and input, because of the fact that the way we work now, at least in particular case, has been changed. So what do you think about this, Dr. Kuosa?
I think firstly that at this might be an issue that is linked much more strongly to white collar work at the first stage, where, and especially on the type of work where the energy level, motivation, and that sort of things are more crucial than the working hours. On that kind of tasks or jobs, it might provide already productivity increase. But on blue collar side, it might not be very viable option in APO countries, at least in short term. But as time goes on, the AI development, the possible revolution of humanoid robots that might also interrupt the work of our blue collar workers, that might change the situation very much. So if we get a very big boost from the AI and robotics side to help employees to do their work more efficiently, then the working hours might not be the core of the productivity anymore. It might be that there are other types of incentives of the productivity. So know-how, motivation, energy level, that sort of things when you work with the robots and AI. So when we reach that type of point, then 4-day work week or even lower or smaller amount of working hours during week might actually be a viable option.
So you mentioned in your presentation about these AI optimized power grids that are now emerging as a critical power source for the data center because of the AI development, the increasing use of that, and people need, and we need more and more power energy source for that. But this may be sort of relevant for APO developed countries, maybe because of the fact that their infrastructure is more advanced. But how about developing APO members, or maybe in general other developing countries with sort of less mature grids infrastructure? So what are the entry points for them to benefit from this type of technology?
Yes, I'm not exactly expert in how to carry out actually the AI optimization on power grids, but I would assume that there needs to be first much research on the issue, studying what problems there are currently within the power grids, and what are actually the points where the energy leakage kind of leakage is actually happening, understanding exactly the patterns in that. So it's about data management. AI can, of course, help in that very much. Once we understand the whole system well enough, then AI optimization is something that it can be brought to the system with much stronger confidence.
So thank you so much, Dr. Kuosa, for sharing your expertise and your knowledge once again with us. I would like also to thank to all viewers for joining us in this session. Just a quick note on the scope. This may be addressed to the viewers out there that if there is certain steep V categories seem underrepresented this quarter, so that is the intention. That's intentional because of the fact that we prioritize signals with clear momentum, strong productivity relevance, and plausible adoption path for APO economies. So this keeps, hopefully, P-Trends remains practical, timely, and implementable, not exhaustive for its own sake, just to keep it simple in the short words. So this session, as you have just been experiencing just now, distilled 8 productivity trends from thousands of signals captured between July to September 2025, spanning from workplace design, infrastructure upgrades, climate resilience, financial innovation, and AI governance. It was the case in Japan. Together, they reaffirmed that productivity is no longer only about efficiency. It is equally also about resilience, trust, and adaptability in a world that shifts by the day. Maybe now it's by the seconds. So as ever, P-Trends exist to keep APO member economies a step ahead, anticipating disruptions, seizing the opportunities, and shaping future-ready strategies. So we look forward to our next sessions with you. So until then, let us keep scanning the signals and co-creating a more productive future. So have a great day to everyone. See you again. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you. Bye.